Hi there. I'm Eric Scharber, Managing Principal at SimiTree. I oversee our talent solutions here at SimiTree, which includes executive search, management, recruiting, and interim leadership, as well as some advisory services really around talent acquisition and retention. As I'm thinking forward through the rest of 2023 and even into 2024, I'm thinking about what to expect from a workforce standpoint. And my gut's telling me that this is still going to be a very challenging issue. Everything that we've dealt with in this industry for the past 2 or 3 years is going to continue to be very difficult as we look forward to the next, call it year, 18 months. Everyone feels like, hey, at some point we're going to get over this hump when it comes to our workforce challenges. And it's really just not the case. I feel like based on the data that's out there, the statistics from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and just what we're seeing in general from workforce, what you've been feeling over the past, call it 2-3 years, is probably what you're going to continue to feel going forward. So with that in mind, I thought there's a couple little things that we can offer that what we're seeing with some of our clients that's working for them, that may be something you can implement. So maybe there's a little nugget, a little takeaway that you can look at. So I want to talk about 2 things. First thing is culture and how it impacts workforce. And the second thing is just real specific, some tips around recruiting and techniques that might help you. So first on the culture, I'll hit 3 things. If you could think of 3 things that are going to make the biggest impact on your company culture, and I'm just talking here for a minute or two, I'll say the first one is positivity. You know, we all can look at the glass from a half full or half full standpoint, but there's actual data that shows that organizations that are considered very positive in the way they think about themselves and the world, if you will, even in times of challenges, they rank higher in employee engagement. They're scored better as far as the culture, as far as how good of a culture they have. So positivity, looking at things from a very positive standpoint, buy-in from leadership. You can't have a company culture that's driven from the middle, right? Company culture has to start with the top. That means the CEO, owner, executive director, whatever that title is in your organization, they have to be bought in, they have to lead the charge, then everybody down from that person has to be involved and willing to participate in that company culture as well. And finally, in culture, it's communication. You know, there's just every time we work with an organization and help them out on building retention strategies or employee engagement consulting, we hear about deficiencies in communication, right? I'll share with you that no matter how good of a communication program you think you have, it can always be better. You can always improve it, and you should. As we talk to frontline staff, it's consistently one of the things that they say is that I wish I had a better understanding what was going on kind of from the top down. So those are 3 things. There's hundreds of things, but those are 3 things that you could do right away that might make a difference in helping your company culture perform a little bit better. On the recruiting piece, just 3 tips on the recruiting piece that maybe make a difference as well. The first one I would say is cast a big net. You know, we rely on our human resources or talent acquisition department to lead all of recruiting, but recruiting equals selling in my mind, and recruiting is a full company project. Everybody at your organization is a recruiter, but within your actual function of recruiting, don't rely on just posting a job on Indeed or posting something on social media or doing something on the website or doing some sort of a local event to boost recruiting. Cast a big net. Use every tool possible to get the word out to that talent pool to hopefully get those right incoming leads to your organization. Second tip is in networking with industry professionals. You know, this includes referrals. You know, your team knows other home health or hospice professionals, other behavioral health folks. So make sure you've got a good referral program. You can encourage them to network with their friends, but their leadership of the organization, network with your colleagues in the industry, network with the vendors in the industry that might support you. Let them know what you're looking for. All of us together with our eyes open might spot a target that you might miss if you were only looking at it from one viewpoint. So networking vigorously, whether it's through social media or picking up the phone and calling, or again, developing a really great referral program, can make a huge difference in your success when it comes to recruiting. And finally, kind of having an open mind to doing things differently. So whether that means, hey, I've never spent money on a social media campaign to target folks. Maybe that works. Maybe it's hiring a third-party marketing company. Maybe it's using a third-party recruiting firm like ours, or interim leadership, temporary help. Having your mind open to new and different ways to solve problems so that you can have the right staff and the right positions is going to help keep you ahead of your competition. And really, it's a way to be forward thinking about something as opposed to being reactive to situations. So having an open mind and being willing to do things different when it comes to talent acquisition is going to make a huge difference in your overall success. So there's a few little tips on culture and recruiting. I hope that helps. Again, my name is Eric Scharber. I'd love to chat with you more about what's coming in the world of workforce and challenges that you might have. Love to talk to you about our capabilities and provide some resources for you if there's a need there. Have a great day.